but we're glad you found us for sure. So you
Yeah,
jumped in, we've been rocking and rolling. Obviously, one of the things that as I've been trading with you and we've been trading together for probably about 6 months now or so. One of the things that you said you wanted to work on a little bit was recycling and getting better at taking small bites out of the market, just like kind of what attracted you here in the first place. And so that's kind of what we talked about last week and getting you acclimated with that and kind of going through that. Um, and if this is in your presentation, then just let me know. But my biggest takeaway or my biggest question would be to you is from trying to learn how to implement this into your trading, how has that helped you? And again, that can just segue into your presentation if it's not in there. Just explain to us how what you're going to talk to us tonight and how it's really benefited you, unless you already have it pre-planned to put in there. Does
yeah.
that make sense?
I don't have that pre-planned in my presentation because my presentation is geared around what is profit stacking and what is recycling. It's taken. Um, I'm still grasping the full concept of what it is, and I've definitely not perfected it in any way, shape, or form. I'm still very new at understanding it. In fact, Brandon's session this morning, having uh, what do we call it? Recycling syndrome, single trade syndrome, not having multiple trade syndrome. I think that has been an issue that I've struggled with from way back when. I mean, everybody teaches one trade, put your stop loss on, put your take profit on. When that works out, then you do another trade. So it's a one trade at a time.
Sure.
And even with the scalping method that Sean would teach, it's a little bit more. And with building a position, I had never thought about that. And then spreading your trades over was a novel concept to me. So that was, it's still something, like I said, it's still something that I'm working through. And so I do feel a little underqualified to be speaking on this topic, but um, I've had some great discussions with some good guys, and I think that the community will be benefited by this presentation today. So,
Well,
and
better. I don't want to wait. Who here wants to waste our time? I'm just kidding you.
we just show up to hear you talk, Dave. That's all
And
it is.
and with that, what a great segue. Let's jump into it.
All right.
That's got to be the best introduction ever. Don't screw it up.
Right. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So here we are today to talk about profit stacking and recycling. So, what is profit stacking? This is an example of somebody's amazing profit stacking prowess. I think that we can all agree that this would be a lot of stacking in here, right? So one of the things that we were talking about was what what is profit stacking, what is recycling, and are there any prerequisites that we need to know before we dive into profit stacking and we really understand what recycling is. And we've come up with, I don't know, three things. So what's the first one? Max profit. Does everybody here understand what max profit is? You can put, I can't see the chat right now, so hold on. I was gonna say you could put a Y in the chat if you do.
Jeff, just explain what it is briefly because there's going to
All
be
right.
people watching it that may not know, right?
So we'll get into what exactly it is. So we've got max profit, we've got action points and zones. There's something else that we need to really understand to capitalize on our profit stacking recycling. And then third our price cycles. That's the third. Those are the three things we really need to understand with what we're going to be building in here. So let's look at a chart here and talk about max profit. So I would like community participation, and I would like for some bold members of our people that are on the call today to draw in here. If we're looking for buys, so we're buy biased, what are our max profit areas on here on this chart right now? So who's going to be the first one to draw on the chart?
Is that a challenge? I like challenges.
It's a challenge. All right,
I was the
so
first one to draw on the chart.
I don't see any of your drawings, Dave. All right, Mr. Hunter. All right, so why did you guys pick up here and why did you pick down here? We're talking about buys, so why would this be a max profit for a buy? Or why would this be a max profit for a buy?
At the end of a price cycle?
So the end of the price cycle would be coming down for a buy, right? This would not be the max profit. That would be the entry point for the buy. Same thing as down here. So our max profit would be up here, right at this action point. This is a great place for a max profit back at this action point right here. And then also the 50s as well. And I would encourage people to go and find a reading the right lesson that was, or class that was done a few weeks ago. And Nick did a fantastic job of talking about that. So highly encourage everybody to go and reference that one as well. Okay, so we've got a lot of really great places here. That's fantastic. So next one, let's talk about cells. Let's clear this off here. And now, similar chart, or actually same chart. If we're looking for shorts, where's our max profit areas going to be? All right, John, why did you pick that area for our max profit? Josh, you're supposed to draw the max profit, not the start of the max profit.
That's where the prior low was. So it should go to at least that.
Okay.
If it's a downtrend.
So you're looking at the 50 right here?
Correct. Yeah. And then same on the other. So when it moves up, you look to see that it reaches the prior low. If it makes it there, then that's your max profit. If it keeps going, then you would secure.
Yeah. So that's very true. So one of the things that as a level 1 trader, what you want to do is you want to secure, right? You always want to secure your trades. And if you're a level 2 or definitely level 3, then you can watch the candles. And if you see the flicker, you just close really quickly. If not, then you read the action of the candles. So in this case, it would be the first touch down here. You can get in back here for a ride back down. And then max profit is down here. There's could be another point off there. So same thing with up here. This is the 50 right here. So that would be max profit for this move. And then up here again, come up to this action point, come back down to this action point right here. And there's max profit in that little area right there. Okay. So action points, we've kind of been talking about action points in the sense of when we were talking about max profit, because max profit is where the action points are. And we pretty much have already talked about that. So I'll just recap real quickly, right? So here would be our action points here. And again, the 50s, we're looking at the 50s of our moves. So this whole move up here, we're looking at the 50 right here Those are our action points where price should go to. If the market's being nice and behaving the way it's supposed to, we know that it generally will return back to the 50%. So looking for those action points and then the zones that we have. So does anybody want to draw? Well, actually, how about some of you guys draw on the chart where our zones are on this chart? Can you guys pick those out?
What do you mean by zone? Like,
So Dave drew a zone, Cliff drew a zone. So it's an area that price would go to, and then it would move into another area. So it's a consolidation area. And M is not a zone. That's a pattern.
And I
But
couldn't myself.
Thank you for the PDF, for us not having, those of us that have PDS, thank you for helping us with that. All right, so we've got our zones and we've got our action points. And let's move on to the next one. All right, so well, this was gonna be for the zones, but we'll move on from that. So price cycles, the last thing that we wanna talk about for understanding the profit stacking and recycling part is our price cycle. So I was going to pull up a chart, but what I'll just annotate on this one. So from here to here would be a price cycle, right? So we measure from the top to the bottom and figure out how many pips that is. That's our cycle. Same thing for here to here. And you could say that this is 2 price cycles with this little dip in here if you want to. This one here to down here. And then here is the middle of it. So I would say that this is actually 1 price cycle. This is another price cycle. So when does anybody know why price cycles are important when you're looking at profit stacking and or recycling?
And let you know when to get in or get out or look to get out.
Yeah,
when it comes to an action point, sometimes the price cycle is an action point.
price cycles can, we'll hit action points. But why are price cycles important? Like, why is it important to know what our price cycles are?
So a price cycle will show you the general movement of price before a turn.
And typically we bank on 2, maybe 3 price cycles, right? And then we expect a price cycle back. Is that, do you guys understand that the way I do?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason for me, the reason I think that it's important is because if our price cycles, let's just say this is 7 pips here, right? And it's coming down and it's at 5 pips hitting this price action point, I can say, oh, well, here my price cycle is shorter and here it's shorter. So I'm looking at this and saying, oh, this is at an end of a price cycle here. If I'm looking at this move and this move and this move. But if it goes further, so like in this one, you can say, well, it's gone 2 of these price cycle, this cycle right here, or we can realize that this might be half of a price cycle. So now I can target where price should go. And I mean, if it's following my price cycle, so if it is going to do a 7 price cycle, 7 pip move, then I know that it's going to come back down to here. And I can look over here and see if there's an action point. And if there is, then the probability is even higher that it is going to come back down to here. So for me, as I'm trading, it helps me to remain calm, knowing that, oh, well, we've gone 1 price cycle. Okay, well, we probably will go 2 price cycles. So, I mean, the likelihood of it doing that are very, very great. So that's a high probability setup. So now I can know, okay, it probably will run another 7 pips. So I can just mentally prepare myself for that move. And when it hits the end of this, then I can be watching the candle action I can take my profit, or I can recycle my position, depending on which one I want to use. And then I can look at what's the market going to do at that point. And reading the candles, I can then try and decipher or work on deciphering what story the market is telling me. All right, so there's a way that I can do some quizzing, but Dave, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, I have to make you a host. I apologize. Let me do that really quick.
Well, I was gonna be quizzing you guys all along the way, but you know.
And you.
So while Dave's getting that ready, MK asks
You can do it
wants
now.
to be shown where to stack, where to re-enter, and where to secure. So if you're a level 1 trader, then you will want to always secure your trades. And you're gonna secure close to action points. So if you're short here, let's say you enter short here, and it comes down to here, and you see this action point here, when price comes down to here, you would secure very tight. So if it wicks back, which it did right here, it'll get you out, but that's okay. Now, if you're a level 2 trader, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna watch the candle action. And depending on the candle action, you might secure, or you might just close all your trades at that point. And then re-entering, you always re-enter on a pullback, right? So does that help, MK? All right, so let's see. How do I send them a quiz, Dave?
Polls. See where things says polls.
New. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see. Here's one. All
There
right,
we go.
so here's quiz. Oh, that's the answer. Okay, here's quiz 1.
What is max profit? What is max profit, everybody? Is it A, at an action point, B, at a KPI, C, at 50 of the price of the move or price cycle, or all of the above?
All of the above.
Are you sure? Would you like to phone a friend?
It's Q.
Definitely phone a friend. All right.
All
we've got-
right. I think we're good. Let me end that and look at you guys.
All right. So if you said all the above, you are correct.
Well, technically, everybody's correct.
Oh, is there no, are
Well-
there no wrong answers? Is that what you're saying?
Well, if it's all of the above, then any of the answers are technically correct.
Partially correct.
Partially correct.
Gosh,
Partially.
not everybody gets a trophy. All right.
Show your work.
Deal. All right. So share.
It's
results.
Common Core. It's Common Core.
I like that.
All right. So let's see here. Oh, poll 2. All right, so quiz 2. All right. So what are price cycles? Is it the natural rhythm of the market? Price for a new unicycle? Areas where we need to change our market bias? Area from top to bottom, low to high, or market move? Hey, wait, I didn't write all those. I think Dave's helping me out here.
What is your favorite color?
Unicycle.
There are no wrong answers here except for one.
Everybody gets a prize.
Probably a unicycle.
Let's see.
with a unicorn.
Hmm.
All right.
All right.
So now you can see the results. Thank you for participating.
So what's that market move called?
A price cycle.
Pivot.
That's the low or the high, man. Okay, quiz 3. What do we do at action points? Do we load up our position? Do we phone a friend? Maybe we smack a Brandon, buy, sell, or hold, or all the above.
Definitely smack a Brandon.
Well, at least 2 people think that we ought to load up our position.
Ride or die.
All right. Oh, we got 3 more people participating. Great. All right, so show our results. And there you go. Well, thank you for participating in our quizzes. Oh, and we got one last one right here. There you go. Oh, I can't launch it. It was, did you hit your goal yet today? I mean, some people might not have. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so my next thing is, as I was mulling over the content for this course and racking my brain as to how to present this thing, I really feel like some people are like, well, I don't know if there's God. I don't know if my life matters. And not once, but twice, I had a gift course given to me that explained exactly what recycling and stacking meant. And it was explained so phenomenally that I feel like everybody needs to hear it. So I've compiled a little video and I would like to share it with you guys. So bear with me. It'll take a little bit of time. And I hope that you'll get as much out of it as I did.
Make sure that when you're sharing your screen, you select audio too. So you might
But-
need to reshare.
I thought I did select audio.
Well, I didn't hear anything. So
No, fair enough.
unless there wasn't anything being said at the beginning.
No, there was. Okay, can you see it?
Not yet. But you are sharing your computer sound, but not the video. We can hear
One
it.
step at a time, David.
We can hear it. We just can't see it.
It really ought not to be that complicated.
It's not. It's one of those ID 10T errors.
Well,
Or
when I
like Brandon
select,
says,
when I
PepCat.
select computer audio, okay, let me select video this time. Nope.
So when you share your screen and then just
Yep.
share
Oh,
sound at the
Yeah,
bottom.
it unchecked it. It
Yeah.
was checked and then it unchecked it. Okay, now let's try this. All right, so here we go.
Recycling is the technique. It's kind of the same behavior, but if you're buying because of this break and you buy off of here and you buy here and you buy here and you're buying here, then this range, because of this bad PTP, this being the top of that range, if you don't know any of this data, your risk of it going down is real high. So I want to start putting money into the account. So I will recycle this zone on the buys. I'll get in, get out, get in, get out until my zone breaks, right? And if it breaks down, then I do it again. And then And if it breaks maybe a fourth, then you start a pick and pop using recycling to take losses. But because of this turn, and I bank the money in here, then when it comes up here, my break even is like real close, and I can get out. But the behavior is the same. Like you get in and you get out at max profit of that next move, whether that's the 50 or the top of the zone, wherever your max profit is, but they're real quick get in and get outs. But it's used contextually as a recycle is used to manage an existing position against this risk in that scenario. Just taking candy is just doing it like through this wick crap just to put money in the bank.
That's what I was
There,
doing here.
I did not
was-
build a position at all through there.
Yeah. So I think that's the shortest definition is when you're
Okay.
recycling, you're still building a position. You still think you have an idea or an inclination of where it's going, and it's hitting there for the first time.
Yeah,
or
that's
it's hitting
what
an
I
action point for
understand.
the first time. And then
Yeah.
it comes
First-
back and you're still building in the same direction. So it comes back if you're looking for buys, it comes back, you get it back into buys because you're
Yeah,
like,
that's what I
it's
understand. The
it's
first
still-
three.
it's still going to this area, right? The 50%, the support area, the action point, whatever. You're still in your setup. And
The other
Pieces of
piece on
Candy
that-
has no setup. Zero
Yeah,
setup.
The other piece on that, because I'm in buys, I did not do sell pieces of candy. I only do buy pieces of candy because that's my
Right.
direction. And if I get my play, then they become an addition to my position. Right. But if it goes against me, I'm not having this hedge crap that I'm playing on this zone. So I won't go against my position in recycling.
All right, so in that little clip, Mr. Hunter was explaining to us recycling versus stacking in profit. So stacking in profit is the time where you will play, you can play both sides, or oftentimes you will play both sides of the market, as he was explaining right back in this zone right in here. So going long, going short, going long, going short, going long, going short, and just picking up 0.01, 0.02, 0.05, whatever the market will give you for max profits in this area right here. The recycling part is similar to stacking in, but you are using it when you have a position that you are building, right? So throughout this one, he was explaining how he'll use it to fix a position or stack in profits. So then there was a little discussion that we had, and I asked some questions and we got some fantastic answers. So let me share those with you. Range, well, let's say you're buying right here, right? Because you think it's going to keep going up. And then it comes down, you're talking about adding to your position, in your good spots. Down here, because of this action point, you would add enough so that when it came up to here, then you would recycle it, right? But you'd only recycle the trades that you put on down here. You would recycle these. No, you'd recycle.
Wait. Can you clear it a little bit? I'm not in recycle mode. Yeah, can you clear your doodles? Okay. So add there.
Where'd you learn that? Where'd you learn that? I wonder.
What?
Can you clear your drawings?
Oh yeah, Debbie.
Oh,
Diane. Okay, so you add here, you added these action points on the way down, right? But you've broken your KPI for your buys. So now you're concerned a bit about sales because that's kind of that KPI right there, right? So you're a little bit concerned. This is your warning. It may be turning down, but buys aren't off the table until really down through there, right? But anyway, I'm still building my position through here. This first touch, I would try to put enough here because it crossed here to get my break even down here below that 50. That price didn't touch it. So that little wick on that next one would kind of clue me to recycle some of those, let it come back down and try and recycle again. Does that make sense? Because my break even, I put a lot down here to get that break even below this trend line and that, because that's it broke two things in the market to put me at risk for sales for more
Okay,
of this. So I want out of this position ideally, but I don't really get the 50 of this move off of this range. So recycling through here is something that I would do to, even though my position break even won't be down, my cost base, because of the money going into the account from this area, my cost basis is lowering, even though you won't see it. Does that make sense?
yeah.
And then
you're
if I
also-
get my move, I'm out with an X. And then
Okay,
I kind of,
and
I'll kind of reset.
Are you also lightening your load too? Because when it came down here this first time, you're adding a bunch down here, right? So
Enough to get my break even below this 50 of this
Right.
move.
right. And then it comes back down. It doesn't go all the way up. It stalls here, so it comes back
Right.
down. You would add more here for when it came back up to probably right up in here.
Well,
You would take
this,
off.
these candles right here would kind of, and it's the first touch, like what our singer was saying. Oh God, Cliff. Okay, like what Cliff was saying, it's the first. Well, it's the first touch, and it's not giving me all that I need, and that looks like it's kind of fun. There's a like a doji, so there's some stalling, I'm assuming, going on. So I would have a debate for sure. I can't say I would do it, but I would definitely have the debate of recycling the first one and adding back the positions here, because this could consolidate for enough time for me to pay for all these losses. Even though it didn't, the second one came up. But the assumption is I would be recycling all through here until either this entire positioning was paid for and I can just get out, or I get a pop and I can get out with a little bit of recycling money, or the recycling money that I made in here allows me another run to this level to do it again, and then now start taking losses with the recycling process, pick and pop.
Okay. So recycling.
But you see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 zones down. 3, I'm not picking and popping. 4, I'll probably start to pick and pop.
Okay, so recycling will enable the picking and popping, but recycling can be used on its own to lighten a position where the price has gone against you.
But you're not lightening the position till here because you don't remove anything, right?
Well, you're adding
what
here, and then you're taking them off up here. No?
Yes, but what it's doing at this level is padding my account and to deal with this risk, or lowering and lowering the cost basis of this position, the break even, moving the break even lower so that I'm asking less of the market to clean out. And the context of doing that is that structure is broken.
Right.
So I don't know what it's going to do right here. And it can do 3 things. It can bounce, it can go sideways, which it did, or it can do this. And I want to position always with good PTP, like right there, buys only, no sells, so that if it goes sideways, I can make money on this. If it continues, I can make money on that. And then if it goes down, I have great PTP for break even. But 2 out of 3 moves the market can possibly make, I can make money. That's how you situate. That's the context of it. So you don't really want to, like, I wouldn't recycle if it was in the middle, but I would recycle at the support. Does that make sense? It's all structure context.
So I think that, well, you might not agree, but I feel like that information was gold. It was shared very succinctly. I understood exactly what was going on, and that really helped me a lot. So rather than me try and just rework it, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to share the thing. And we even have more giving that happened during that session, and we had an actual demonstration of when to recycle and when not to recycle. So check this out.
Right this second, I'm thinking it's not going to cross down here, so I'm in buys. Yeah,
Mhm.
and if it pops up and it crosses this with a big candle, I'll take it as a recycle event. If it just, or I'll, or I'll secure it But if it pops up as a big candle, like a branding candle out of nowhere that we got like right here, I'll just take it because I'm thinking it's gonna come back and get me in. That's a recycle event because I'm not trying to pick up pieces of candy right now because we just said that that's over because we're in an outside range. So we're looking for it to pop the top here and keep going, right? So now I'm not going to recycle if this goes green because it didn't give me a big candle, like an exploding candle. It's kind of behaving what it should do. If it stays up here, I'll secure and instead of recycle because we've already had the first event at this price, right? Because it touched it, came back down, and now it should break above it. And so now I'm not recycling because it's not a first, but I'm playing the setup that the market's given me at the moment, which is in 9 seconds, 8 seconds, I'll secure it.
All right, so for me, that last part was just the icing on the cake because many times when I'm watching a video or when I'm learning a thing, I don't see the immediate application of it. And in this case, like I said, to me, this was a gift horse. And not only was it explained very, very well, it was also demonstrated very, very well. And so I was just super ecstatic. And I do hope that you guys learned something as well as I did from this video and that it will help you in your trading. So listen to Josh, do what he says, and you too can recycle and stack in like a pro. So
So
I just
that
wanna
was
know,
given
was
to
this-
you for you to take credit, Eagle.
I just want to
Hey.
know, is this video all of that about just listening to Josh? Is that all that this all the because Josh's
No.
ego is pretty big right now.
No. We listened to Dave a little bit.
Actually, I'm more analyzing it just to make sure what was said was right.
Well, if it isn't, we'll do a something. No, I know it's right because this was the second or third time that Josh has explained this, and it gets a little more refined every time, but it's consistent. So either you're consistently wrong, Josh, or you're consistently right.
Either way, you're consistent.
Either way, you're consistent. So good
That's
job.
all that matters in trading is being consistent. You can be right, you can be wrong, just be consistent.
That's right. And one of the beautiful things about our process is that you can be wrong and still make money and build your position or fade your position or whatever you need to do. So with that said, are there any questions that anybody has regarding this concept of recycling and or stacking for profits?
Yeah. What's the difference between recycling and picking up pieces of candy? In your words.
Kidding.
Oh, well, what did you say, Dave? Ask that question again.
What's the difference between recycling and picking up pieces of candy? In your words.
Yeah, so
I'm asking you, not Josh, just so you
so
know.
hold on, let me rewind the video. We'll do it at Forex. No, for me, like recycling in my mind is when you're in building a position and you're going to take some trades off and then put the trades back on, but you're not flipping your bias. So in the example that Josh gave, he gave a buy bias and he was building a buy position. And so when he would take off his buy trades, he would put more buy trades back on. But in a stacking case, you would take all of your trades off and then you would put trades back on, but probably in the opposite direction. And the other thing is that you're not building a position with recycling. You're staying light. So in in early game, which for most people is 1 to 10 trades, probably though you're in 1 to 5 trades, you take them all off and put them back on again, go the opposite direction. So you're looking for those 0.01, 0.03 percentages of profit, and then you're moving on and you're doing it again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
The past couple of weeks we've had markets where this has been a really good technique to utilize. Have you been utilizing it, and if so, how has it helped you in your personal trading?
So I've been working on utilizing it, and it's still a work in progress for me. So I've been able to stay light, and I've not done it long enough to hit goal though. So the couple of days where I was recycling just by myself or in the live trading session, I didn't hit goal. But that one day that we did that recycling hot seat session where I just jumped in, we got goal twice. So there was one time where, you know, it worked out really great. And then the other times, I mean, I sabotaged myself today. So I would have got goal otherwise with 3 trades on. So that it would have worked out. But I think the biggest thing for me with recycling, well, not so much recycling because it's been more stacking, is that it allows me to trade very light and not worry about hitting my goal, because I know that if I keep doing it over and over again, I'm going to end up hitting my goal.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I felt is very powerful about stacking is that if you go for 0.01, let's say, so very small profit, right? 0.01, and you do that 25 times, now you've hit your goal. For me before, I would have struggled extremely with that thought process, because I want to hit goal fast. I'm the jet, right? I want to hit goal fast. But what I also know is that if you can do a thing over and over and over again, it's not luck anymore. It's skill. And
I agree with that.
And that for me is the real benefit and win of stacking, is that you have now honed a skill to stack and stack and stack. And if you want to scale it, you can, like for lot size. If you don't, and you just want to pick away at it and you know, cruise on down the down the markets, you absolutely can do that too. So there's lots of flexibility there.
I agree with that. Anybody else have any questions that out there in comment and question land? If you guys want to post them, please do so. Logan, if you can talk, I'd love to get your thoughts on this, because I think this is something that you've not newly, but you've implemented quite often in your trading. And I was just wondering how it's helped you to just kind of like profit stack. If you're able to talk, if not, just put a no in the, just put it in
Yeah,
there.
can you hear me?
Yep, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, once I discovered it, I actually feel like I need to swing the pendulum the other way now and start getting back into the, you know, securing more. But for me, and I actually do a secure here and there when I can, if I see like I'm in, you know, OSR, and then I retest, and I usually try to secure those kind of things where I think it definitely could run. But yeah, just like Jeff was saying, like you get in something that's consolidating, it's just like up and down and up and down. I probably place, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of trades nowadays, like 300-400 a day or more. But I will say it's an amazing feeling when I've been trading like 0.03s lately on a 10K, and I know your equivalent to that would be like 0.05s, right, David?
Right.
So doing that, I'm able to sometimes only go like 3 to 5 trades, and then do that over and over and over again. And it's like the best feeling when I get done, because I've usually been getting around 0.5 or more every single day,
Mm-hmm.
and never have left early game on most days. So
Yeah, that's the key right there. And for those of you guys who don't know what early game is, just basically staying light. Like he maybe has 3 to 5 trades, but he never goes over, 10 or 15 or into 20 trades. So he never digs himself into a position that gets over
Yeah,
leveraged, which is what this presentation is all about. Really, the key to understanding profit stacking and recycling is all about making sure that your drawdown you don't get in a deep drawdown, right? You're not over leveraged.
and I would probably even say on top of that, I just kind of thought about this today. Instead of obviously we're price action traders, but I think this almost requires more candle action trading, if that makes sense, because you really got to watch every single candle and read what it's going to do. And I really feed off that a lot lately, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, no, every candle has a story, right? And so you're absolutely right. But I would say that candle action and price action are pretty much
Right? Yeah.
synonymous, right? You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you. Every candle has a story, and the ability to read the candles. And have you started to implement the firsts into this too as well? Because that's
Absolutely.
really
Yeah. Quite a
powerful.
bit more. I sometimes I forget, and then I remind myself, and it just adds up so much more.
Yeah, when you implement like the first time it touches support, the first time it breaks out on the retracement, the
Yep.
first time price hits in the 0, 1, 2, 3s, right? It's the first time this big candle's coming in, and we don't trust it, and you play the first, it can really maximize your returns in a hurry. So I appreciate you sharing, Logan, and it's something that Logan has adopted, taken, and incorporated into his wheelhouse. And like he says, he's consistently getting 0.5% a day. But what's more important, what he just said, was the light or the freedom that this trading gives him. Where you didn't say this, but I'm gonna probably, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna put words in your mouth for a second, but it makes trading easy and makes trading fun when you don't feel stressed about your trades, right? When you can always stay in early game, right?
Absolutely. And I will say, if I can, I do try my best to get the best PTP, but you know how, when the price action is like so small, it's, I tend to, even though I'm still trying to get good PTP, I know even if it completely negates that and goes, you know, one or two price cycles away or even three, I'm fine. Like I don't try to do that, but if it happens, it's like, okay, I got what, 3 trades, 5 trades on. I'll just fix it.
Yeah. Thank you. Again, thank you for sharing. And I think that's the key. No matter what style you guys trade with, no matter what technique you use, it's keeping trading easy and fun that is adaptive or for you, right? And this is just one of those techniques that we've seen a lot lately in the market, and it's been good. And I'll say this is like my last comment to this is like it doesn't work as much in the summer because we don't trust first now. You're gonna need to start trusting first here in a couple months. So just be really just be ready to adapt to the market conditions when we start getting into the summer months. So
That's a good point, Dave. I was gonna say, nobody asked about outside ranges. And I think that where this concept breaks down is in the outside range, right? So when the market is marching or it's just continuing to go and go and go, that's where securing can be so fantastic and riding the wave. All those rules come into play. So
all those rules come into play. Absolutely. Good point. Anything else, guys? Any last comments? Oh,
well,
we
I'll
got a
just have
quote.
I just have a quote for you guys. Well, I'll leave you on the day. I got this from Spicy Nick. He said, "Recycling. I just thought it was like mashed potatoes. It was cool, but we weren't actually following it."
Rude.
No, that was brilliant.
That's priceless.
Awesome. Awesome.
Nick, you busted.
Thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the AM. Thank you, guys.
It was good, Eagle.
Yeah, good
Good
job.
job.